late in that game, Mac Jones led him back to within a score, and it got a little hairy.
Mm-hmm.
It really did. And it felt like the whole game ended and started over again after the Al-Shaair hit.
Yeah.
Which is probably what we should lead talking about. Just a bad hit, man. Like, and I'm always the one that gives the benefit of the doubt. When the hit first happened and they were skewering him, I was like, I need to see it again. I need to see it again. And then I saw it again, and I was like, listen, yes, some guys play at a faster speed. Some guys uncoil and snap, and they can't stop themselves and the whole thing. And yes, Lawrence is going from, and it's a big athletic son of a bitch. He's at the sticks. He's chopping, and then he's sliding. But Al-Shaair is an elite athlete and an elite hitter. Like, when you hit that hard and that well, you're also intentional. Like, you know what you're doing. And I'm not saying that Al-Shaair is lying after the game when he says, like, I'm sorry about what happened. Like, we can read his whole statement. Maybe you can put his statement up, which I thought was classy, as you could be after something like that, where he said, like, hey, I came up to Trevor before the game, told him how excited I was that he was back out here, the whole thing. But then the action doesn't match the words. And I think in situations like that, sometimes guys like, and I've been there where I've done things I regret on the football field. You're not thinking like you're thinking sitting here. And so I'm not going to crucify the guy and say he shouldn't play football again, but the league's probably going to look at that for disciplinary action, and he certainly deserves an ejection. And, I'm all about like physical play, and I'm all about going to the whistle and the whole thing. And I'll take the other side of some hits that sometimes guys get killed for. Like when that guy hit Devontae Smith in the Philly game, I still might get killed over it, but I've tried to make that hit 40 times in my career. Our D-line did. The game has changed. You can't do it anymore. I got it. This hit is like, we just don't need it. We just don't need it. And that's an ugly scene. When Lawrence is on the turf and his arms in the air and he's probably snoring, that's such a violent thing. It's avoidable. And, you at home might say, hey, that's not avoidable. I'm a huge Azeez Al-Shaair fan. I love his story. I love the way he plays. I don't care that he punched Roshan Johnson. You're not going to – I saw a cut-up of things he's done before. He hadn't done anything like this, okay? Somebody's like, well, he's a dirtbag. He punched a guy on the sideline. I don't give a fuck. I like having that guy on my team. I like guys that finish plays on the sideline. I like hitters. I like dogs. But this was just a little far. And so it was a lot far. And so, he's a big part of their defense too. You can see it when he's out. And I hope when he comes back, he's able to play with the same intensity and not slow down, but make the right decisions, because this was not the right decision. And so at least he showed a lot of remorse. I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think he was trying to hurt anybody, but he was trying to finish the fucking guy. And, because I texted guys that used to hit like this. I texted a couple of my buddies that were hard hitters. I said, what'd you think of the hit? They thought it was bullshit.
Right.
Because my point is, when you hit somebody that hard and that often, like you're a big time hitter, like had he flown over the top of his head and just grazed him and maybe knocked him out, like then I'm a lot more like, hey, but when you go with the elbow, eyes wide open and finish the hit, yes, it's a bang bang play. Yes, it's harder than ever to be a defender. No, I'm not going to fucking make this guy. There are guys in the NFL who beat women, who have done terrible things, and we cheer for him every Sunday. Azeez Al-Shaair has an amazing story, dude. Grew up homeless, plays his fucking ass off. I wish he was my teammate. But this action's indefensible on a scale that I think we can appropriately talk about and then move on from.
How bad does it hurt Houston if he maybe does have to miss the remainder of the regular season if they decide to suspend him? How bad does that hurt their defense?
Really bad. He's a great football player.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when they signed him, I was like, bro, the speed that this guy plays with, now people see it because he's not in Tennessee. That's a fast defense. He puts them in hyperspeed.
Yeah.
And you also have to realize when you're talking about a hit like this, that he's playing in hyperspeed.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to give him the benefit of the doubt in intent, but the result of the play, it's just something we don't need, right? I think most of us would say that.
I have a question for you, though.
I respect I was going to say, I just respect the fact that he made that apology and that he even kind of recognized that, I totally get, the Jaguars
fighting me.
kind of coming after me, fighting me. Like, I get that. I respected that because, like, not many people wouldn't point that out in their apology, that they tweet out. But yeah, I mean, it's
Poor teammate.
I don't have a hot take on this, Chris. Like, I think it's
There is no hot take.
Who was his teammate?
I don't know.
Number
Yeah,
51.
like I don't think it was
Will Anderson.
He was helping walk him off the field when he got kicked out, and he got smashed with a drink in the head side of the helmet. Like walking next to Al-Shaair, they were trying to throw something at him, and it's just like.
And listen, you can also tell how emotional guys are. Like, that's a fight, dude. Like, he's on the bottom of that thing, and I'm shocked he walked out of that fucking scrap without marks on his face, dude. Like, dudes are trying to hurt you. That was like one of the biggest, like, oh, we're gonna hurt this guy right now situations I've seen in the last 5 years in the end. And totally. And he said it, like, as a result of what I did, I get what they were doing. But like, as far as how he exited, it's hard to calm a guy down in that situation.
Yeah.
I've been ejected. It's fucking hard, dude. And I've never been ejected where I was at the bottom of a pile getting beat on. And then also feeling the weight of like, oh my God, everybody in the world hates me right now. Like, that's a crazy feeling.
Yeah,
dude.
it is.
And then getting on the plane and saying, like, maybe I deserve to be hated. Like, I understand what happened, but I'm also very sorry it happened. And it wasn't my best judgment. Like, it just wasn't. And it's not an intent to kill. It's not an intent. He's playing football the way
he's not trying to hurt Trevor Lawrence.
No,
that's what I think people don't understand. He obviously did not want that. All right. He's just trying to play football the only way he knows how, which is hard as hell. Should he have pulled up on that hit?
Absolutely.
Would he probably do things differently given the opportunity? Yes, but it also, that shit does happen fast as hell.
And it also
it will soon, Trevor.
Yeah, I hope he's fine, dude. Yeah. Like, but
that just sucks.
And here's the other thing: a lot of other guys make that hit, and it's a penalty. They get shoved a few times, but they haven't killed the quarterback because they're just not able to generate that much force.
Yeah, and that's what makes it worse.
The thump. The
really
thump on a hit like that, bro.
It just looked bad. It looked really.
He's got
bad.
a hard brace on his arm. I was wondering, for you guys that have played, like, do NFL players use the hard braces as weapons?
It's not necessarily used as a weapon. It's just like,
I mean,
if that's his norm, you got to go look back and see if that's his normal, like, launch, and like if he's tackling like without that brace, is he always throwing that forearm?
He probably is always. That's the thing. Is like when you come in there reckless to try to hit somebody, I used to go like shoulder, forearm, and just like head down, not too down, but like just try to cause a big collision. And like I wasn't fucking like snappy enough to hurt people. Like, I was big, and I'm sure if I hit you hard, you'd be like, fuck. I talked to a couple guys that were like, damn, I remember the proudest I've ever been was Frank Gore saw me at a Super Bowl and was like, bro, you knocked me out that one time. I was like, did I really? That's fucking cool. But I could never
sound like me.
That doesn't sound like me at all. and then like, but then there's guys that like, they can hurt people. Like Azeez Al-Shaair is a guy who can generate the kind of force that can he can fucking hurt somebody. So I feel for the guy as much as you can in this situation, because I think he's not a bad guy and a great football player. And to lump in the Roshan Johnson punch with this, like, come on. This was a bad play. He needs to move on.
Someone in the chat saying it's getting racist and political. It's like, let's fucking separate the football from everything else. Like, this dude,
just stop injecting the internet into real life conversations, guy. Exactly. Seriously. I mean, like, we all agree that that's crazy. If that's what he's hearing, that's insane. It goes without saying. Now you go out there and find those people and tell them they're wrong, because it's not my, like, right now, that's not the number one thing. Our job is to evaluate the play, not all the auxiliary bullshit that exists anyways in this country.